this woman was really upset to the point of crying. Actually, she did shed a few tears. She was really hurt. And what happened was she was at an event for work and they had food there. And previously, she spoke to the caterer and she asked them, hey, do you have any vegan meals? And they said, well, we have vegetarian meals. Actually, she had to explain the difference between veganism and vegetarianism. She doesn't have any dairy. And she went into detail and gave them examples of what type of food that she could eat. And so when the catered event happened at work, or maybe it was after work hours, there was nothing for her to eat. There were pizzas that had dairy cheese on it. And she asked the caterer, what happened? We talked about this in detail, and you told me you understood what a vegan meal is, and you were going to make sure there was going to be a vegan meal for me at this event. And they acted like they had never had that conversation before. And some of her coworkers were supportive, and others just said, we'll just eat it anyway. So she felt that was discrimination. And I thought, that's pretty interesting for her to use that word. So she was saying that, she couldn't eat that meal because she's vegan. So not that she couldn't, she didn't want to. I was born with a severe dairy allergy, and I cannot eat a dot of dairy. I get what's called an anaphylactic response, where my throat closes up. And if I have just a little bit, I'll feel a little bit sick. If I have a little bit more, I'll end up vomiting profusely and then passing out. And if it's more than that, then I would be hospitalized and could possibly die. So luckily my response is so quick, 60 seconds typically, that my body tells me, stop, that's not a health food. So if something is a disability, then yes, that would be discrimination. But, I've never felt discriminated against because of my dairy allergy. I just made sure to check ahead of time and test the food. And if I couldn't eat it, I would just send it back and just say I'm done eating, or I would bring my own food, or I would eat ahead of time. I never felt discriminated against, but I did feel different. I did feel a little bit alone, but there were benefits to having my allergy, as I found out who my true friends were, and I was able to find out, if someone's going to take care of me and make me a special meal and show me the ingredients and say, hey, look, I want you to read this and make sure it's okay for you. That was a good thing. So I got to find out who my real friends were. But then I got to thinking, was she actually discriminated against? Well, what is discrimination? Discrimination is, are you discriminated against because of your gender, you're male or female? But there are male and female vegans. All right. What about ethnicity, your race, your religion? There are people from all races and all religions that are vegan. So I don't think we could put ethnicity in that little bucket. We've got age. Someone's really young or someone's old. Typically vegans are teenagers and on up. So the age ranges are all over the place. So I don't think we could count on age being a check mark. The last one would be a group. All right, so we could technically, I think, let me know if I'm wrong, put veganism as a group. We could be seen as a group of individuals. So if we go to an event and there's nothing for us to eat, are we being discriminated against? But then there are people who can't have gluten. So if there's no gluten-free meal, are the people who can't have gluten discriminated against? I think not. So I don't think you can say that if you go to an event and you're vegan, there's no vegan food, you're being discriminated against. Just don't go to events that if it's really going to bother you, if there's nothing for you to eat there, it's really unsafe. I've had my allergies all my life, and I go to events to be with people, not to eat. And if I really want to eat with them, I'll bring something, or I'll make sure and triple triple check that I can eat there. So my life does not revolve around food. So it's really about, when I'm hanging out with people, it's to be with them. I'll go to dinner and lunches with friends, and sometimes I won't eat. And, they're upset that I'm not eating, but I'm fine with it. So, yeah, I really don't think that veganism can be discriminated against, but I have received a lot of hate in social media for being a vegan. I never received hate when I was showcasing a meal. Like, I have one where I was making spaghetti and meatballs. I never had vegans go to my channel and say, "You're a bad person, you're stupid, you're awful, you're dumb, you're evil because you're making meatballs." They never said, "Oh, it's unhealthy." I had zero comments like that from social media, except when I started posting things about veganism, and this is a vegan meal, and this is why, I don't eat animal products. It's crazy. So there is so much vegan hate out there, and I think that's really interesting because, I most of us vegans weren't vegans from birth, and or even as children. We decided to change our diets later for many reasons. For me, it was learning that animal products are so toxic, we don't have to eat them. And when I learned that, I was like, I'm on board. Give me my vegetables, give me my fruit. I was thrilled because of course there are tasty, ribs are tasty and burgers are tasty, but I was only eating that stuff because I believe the nonsense that we have to eat animal protein, but there's protein in fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and everything that's actually truly edible and as a food. But anyways, that was my discussion for today, and I thought it was an interesting topic and thought I'd share it with you. So let me know if you have any questions and comments, and hope to see you soon. For my favorite low-fat, oil-free, plant-based vegan recipes, order my cookbook with vegan nutrition facts on how to prevent and reverse disease, which chronicles my personal health and weight loss story through my website, thehigh5diet.com.